Let's get into it. What a week. A mere 2 hours ago, the news broke. Where happened to the air horn?
It was there, but they were too loud. They were clapping too loud.
What kind of air horns? Too.
Stop
That's why that's what the air horn's
fans.
meant to be heard over that.
But your fans are too
thunderous. You set the air horn for silent room? Former president and current wedding DJ Donald Trump received word that he has been indicted on federal charges related to the inquiry into stolen classified materials that he hid at his home/event space. You'd think the second indictment would be less exciting, but it's not. It feels just as great. They nailed the sequel, the Top Gun Maverick of indictments. Trump was previously indicted in New York back in April, making him the first U.S. president to face criminal charges after leaving office. Now he is also the first U.S. president to face federal charges. If we can trick him into believing the world's best McDonald's is in The Hague, maybe we can get the trifecta. Trump reportedly faces 7 counts, including willfully retaining national defense secrets and an obstruction of justice conspiracy. He also may face charges related to violating the Espionage Act. It's always a tragedy when an Uggo gets charged for one of the country's sexiest crimes. The former president reportedly must go to a federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday. Tuesday is, of course, the one day of the week when people in Miami work. Just a little detour to take a shot at the people in Miami. Trump confirmed the news in, you guessed it, a Truth Social rant, declaring the corrupt Biden administration has informed my attorneys that I have been indicted, seemingly over the boxes hoax. Just a master of rebranding, the boxes hoax. It's like if John Wayne Gacy tried to defend his birthday kerfuffles. And then in a video, filmed in his Bedminster office and posted on Truth Social, Trump said this.
I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person. So I just want to tell you, I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. I'm an innocent man. We will prove that again. I'm innocent, and we will prove that very, very soundly and hopefully very quickly. Thank you very much.
Nothing makes you look or sound more innocent than saying, I'm innocent, over and over and over again. Innocent people are always doing that. They famously can't shut up about it. The more times you say I'm innocent, the less convincing it becomes, much like saying I'm not mad or I know what I'm doing. It's cool that Trump and I have identical reactions to Trump getting indicted, and that's time to make some content. He ranted for a full 4 minutes, culminating in this.
Our country is going to hell, and they come after Donald Trump, weaponizing the Justice Department, weaponizing the FBI. We can't let this continue to go on because it's ripping our country to shreds.
It's a kaleidoscopic nightmare world where obviously corrupt businessmen can't steal and sell state secrets to the Saudis. You know, I really went for it on that. You gave me nothing. This all follows a bananas report from CNN. Get this, a flood allegedly damaged the computers where surveillance video logs were stored at Mar-A-Lago after a shockingly convenient mishap in which an employee drained the compound's swimming pool into the server rooms. The same employee then accidentally spilled the resort's entire supply of hammers directly onto the hard drives. And then he tripped over a roller chair that knocked the official Mar-A-Lago comically large magnet directly into the servers. The employee's name is being withheld, but a photo of the suspect has been obtained by investigators. It's Mr. Bean. In other news, on Monday, former Vice President Mike Pence filed paperwork officially declaring his presidential campaign, which will pit him against his high school tormentor, Donald Trump. I'm going to show Trump how it's done, said Pence, while drafting the speech in which he'll concede defeat to Donald Trump. Publicly flaming out in a doomed presidential campaign is kind of like the autoerotic asphyxiation version of hanging Mike Pence. We didn't do an illustration or anything. Calm down. While speaking at the Pence campaign launch, Indiana House Speaker Todd Huston, a Pence backer, said this.
You know, this morning I read that somebody said Mike Pence can be a lot like mayonnaise on toast. And let me just suggest this. I think you're going to get to know the Mike Pence that we know, that Congressman Pence and I know, and there's a lot of Iowa bacon and maybe even a little Tabasco sauce in that toast too.
Someone said that Mike Pence is boring, and yeah, he is. But he's a boring deluxe. All that's missing is the lettuce, said a MAGA-goon, as in, God, please let us kill Mike Pence. The former vice president also took a rare public swing at Donald Trump during his launch event, saying this.
I believe that anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put them over the Constitution should never be president of the United States again.
And anyone who dedicates 4 years of their political career to serving that person should be promoted. Pence also criticized Trump for calling Putin a genius during his CNN town hall.
Well, and frankly, when Vladimir Putin rolled into Ukraine, the former president called him a genius. I know the difference between a genius and a war criminal.
Which should be the CAPTCHA you have to answer when you log into the Oval Office computer for the first time. During her CNN town hall, the devil's reject, Nikki Haley, complained about trans kids and made this leap.
How are we supposed to get our girls used to the fact that biological boys are in their locker rooms? And then we wonder why a third of our teenage girls seriously contemplated suicide last year?
You go, girl, said a woman having a miscarriage in a hospital parking lot. Yeah. Yep. You want me to cut it? It should be there, right? Okay. Well, when you don't laugh, I don't know what you think. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, who? Doug Burgum also threw his hat in the ring for the Republican nomination this week, and then the ring threw it back. Burgum did have some strong words for Donald Trump, though, declaring, I'll just stand back to back with Chris Christie so you only have to use one bullet. To express his frustration with Speaker Kevin McCarthy over the debt ceiling deal, Matt Gaetz said this on Steve Bannon's podcast.
We're going to force him into a monogamous relationship with one or the other. What we're not going to do is hang out with him for 5 months and then watch him go jump in the back seat with Hakeem Jeffries, and sell the nation out.
What are we even doing here, Kevin? Said Matt. I want it to be just us, except for the prostitutes, which, as I've told you, do not count. On Thursday, the Supreme Court sided with a 3-judge panel that tossed out Alabama's racist congressional map. Look, we didn't expect the bad air quality to have this effect on Brett Kavanaugh and John Roberts, but we need to keep those Canadian trees burning. The decision was 5-4, with Roberts and Kavanaugh joining the 3 liberal justices. Congratulations and thank you to whichever Chevy Chase golfing buddy has been giving Brett Kavanaugh weird looks lately. You are saving democracy. Predictably, Clarence Thomas was pissed, writing a scathing dissent with a magnificent golden pen whose origins he refused to disclose. In case you didn't hear, Canadian wildfires blanketed the East Coast with smoke this week, leading to historically awful air quality in New York City and other cities that don't matter as much. Hey, New York, if you can't breathe, they can't breathe. Bring the rats inside. The good news, the smoke has finally begun to lift. The bad news, the smoke has published a personal essay on The Cut titled Why I'm Leaving New York. Also this week, the PGA Tour agreed to merge with its rival LIV Golf, which is backed by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund and controlled by the Saudi royal family. Golf, finally as evil as it's always vaguely felt. The truth is, Mohammed bin Salman is actually a big golf enthusiast. It's why when he says he got a hole-in-one, you never know if he's talking about golf or the head of a journalist he had murdered. What did you think this was? You think we're doing carpool karaoke? As the Writers Guild strike enters its 6th week, the members of the Hollywood Acting Union, SAG, have voted to approve a strike authorization as well. Actors saw writers getting all the attention in Hollywood for once and said, no way. Actors and writers pledged in solidarity to keep taking press photos where it's 6 people standing in a row, and despite the writer trying as hard as humanly possible, can't help but look like the writer in the photo. In a new Netflix docuseries, Arnold Schwarzenegger details how he approached telling his wife Maria Shriver about his extramarital affair that resulted in a secret child who was by then 13 years old. It's not a rumor. Thank you. Thank you. Jodie Comer halted a matinee performance of her Broadway play Prima Facie on Wednesday, saying she couldn't breathe due to New York's poor air quality. Wow, nobody wants to work anymore. Just for some context, Comer's character in the play is a person who's able to breathe. Said her understudy who took over to complete the performance, I'm fine. I'm fine. It didn't work. It didn't work. It was too much. Was it too hard? It was too real a cough?
I think it was like you needed more I'm fine in there.
Yeah.
It was too much cough. I think.
Said the understudy. I'm fine. That was better.
It was better, yeah. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep...
Use that laugh.
For sure.
Academy Award winner actor Jared Leto was seen in Germany this week inexplicably scaling a 5-story hotel exterior. That little guy must have been all worked up from across the Spider-Verse. He'll sleep tonight. You go rock climbing 4 times, and then you're in Germany, you're like, I can get attention here. Pope Francis underwent a 3-hour operation to repair a hernia on Wednesday and completed it with no complications. Yes, of course, hernia surgery. That's all it was, said the Pope, before turning to walk away, revealing a surprisingly fat and juicy ass that I guess we never noticed before. A jury has convicted an Oregon man who rigged his home with booby traps, including a round hot tub that was on its side set to roll down the hill, inspired by Indiana Jones. A separate booby trap inside the home injured an FBI officer. Wow, with Kieran in the spotlight, Macaulay's really acting out. Justin Bieber's father, Jeremy Bieber, posted a meme with a rainbow that said, "Don't forget to thank a straight person this month for your existence." The singer's once absent father, who has 4 children with 3 women, added, "We need to celebrate families. You know the reason we're all here. The thing this generation glorifies is unbelievable." What happened to traditional values where you knock up a woman and leave her and your son for years until his YouTube does amazing numbos, and suddenly you can imagine a life where you aren't the 5th least bad contractor in Stratford, Ontario, so you come back into his life to live off the complicated love that deep down you both know wouldn't exist, but for the vast fortune and fame neither you nor your son are emotionally equipped to handle. And listen, Jeremy, we don't need to know what any famous person's dad thinks about anything. Oh no, Desmond Stiles thinks trans people smell weird? Shut the fuck up. Count your blessings, you worthless luck magnet. Scientists are warning beachgoers in Florida about a 5,000-mile-wide blob of decomposing algae and seaweed that contains flesh-eating bacteria. The scientists are referring to the blob as your mom. And finally, wrestling legend and former WWF heavyweight champ, the Iron Sheik, passed away this week at the age of 81. He died as he lived, being slammed through a folding table in front of friends and loved ones.